Blood and Guts was last night, and as a whole, I felt it was a just overall, very good edition of Dynamite last night for AEW. I mean, I thought very good in their debut in Boston. They did some job. The blind eliminator tag team title match, or the finals of the tournament, that was nice. With MJF Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara, which really triggered a good amount of people. And I'll obviously get to that. Jack Perry was really his first match in pivoting from the Jungle Boy gimmick to now seemingly Hollywood. Jack Perry, it seems, he beat Hook and was a good match to open Dynamite last night. Britt Baker was on the show, and then, of course, we had the main event, nearly an hour long. Basically, almost the whole second hour was Blood and Guts, and Kota Ibushi made his AEW debut. And give my thoughts on that. But I hope everyone's doing good on this fine Thursday or Friday, depends whenever you get this. But nonetheless, good Dynamite to talk about here on the channel. But before we get into, guys, obviously, no drill, but I might as well say, subscribe if you want to get all videos you want. Of course, my AEW Collision review from Saturday. I posted around Sunday night, early Monday morning, so you can catch up with that. Of course, Collision again on Saturday, which we'll obviously review as well later this week. We are almost a month away from All In London and All Out, which will be a week after in Chicago, which is doing good thus far and selling. It's gonna be a trip really to see how AEW, now that Blood and Guts is out of the way, now it's going to be a trip to see how they go with booking All In and All Out. It's like, for starters, the Royal Rampage on Rampage, we're going to get the match is going to determine apparently who gets a TNT title shot at All Out. So, gotta keep that in mind, certainly. So, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's gonna be they have Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. So that's basically 3 shows to be able to build ahead of these two pay-per-views. So, see how we go, but yeah, we'll see. But with that, All In is in a month, and same with All Out. But we're here to talk about Dynamite. So let's get into Dynamite of last night, shall we? So, Dynamite was good. Start off decently, in which we had Jack Perry versus Hook for, I think we can all agree, the FTW title, they keep saying and saying that it's not a recognized title of AEW. But alas, it's defended. It's in AEW Fight Forever game. You can compete for it. And it can change hands. So, I mean, it's difficult because AEW already has enough titles. More than enough, you could say. And now with Jack Perry winning this title from Hook, ending his undefeated record, it's gonna be unique to see what Jack does. But so Jack Perry obviously changed how he should. He had a vignette of him going into a limo, going in backstage. He walked out to Beethoven. I mean, bit of a surprise, but I mean, it's gonna getting used to, but I think they're in the right realm for his heel theme music. That's the start. His attire, change. I mean, wearing the leather jacket, the leather pants, he all dark, One of the things, with Jungle Boy, one thing that helped get him over as a babyface is also his look at his hair. Well, as simple as putting his hair into a ponytail. I mean, that was certainly heelish enough, and he's got the beard. It's a nice look for him as a heel. And, this match was good. We could definitely say the best match of Hook's AEW run. And, Hook's still really young, still has room to grow. But Jack, with the build-up going in this match, he had to win this match. He had to, and certainly did. So AEW last week, there was these rules and regulations on moves that were banned or had to be cleared by management. I mean, they went full throttle, it seemingly went this episode. Maybe it doesn't go into effect till Collision or maybe next week, but I mean, they went full throttle. Especially during Blood and Guts. But match here was good to open the show. So 1 sec. Dang, I click on the wrong thing. Where's my notes? Okay, there. So, at first, Jack Perry, he went out of the ring, then went back in the ring. Hook, obviously on the attack because he couldn't wait to finally get his hands on Jack after Jack basically cowering away the last couple of weeks. So, obviously, they scuffled a bit during the ring, then they fought into the crowd, back out. So, Perry, a nice drop kick from the top to the back of Hook's head for a nice near fall. Hook was getting tossed around on ringside and into the barricade by Jack for a bit during the break. Perry went for a German suplex off the apron, but Hook fought out of it. Went a T-bone suplex to the concrete on the outside. One of them came back in the ring, but Jack Perry hit DT on the outside. Then Perry hit a deadlift German suplex on back in the ring, which looked good. And then Hook fired back. He had a German suplex to the bridge for a near fall. Went for another. So they head towards the ref, and this is a common spot, similarly for heels. So went right up against the ref, and unknowingly to the ref, Perry a low blow on Hook, followed a diving elbow, a sliding elbow to the back of Hook's head for a near fall. Perry then went for the FTW title. Referee tried to take it away. Hook collided with Perry, who collided with the ref. He was down. That was not obviously the best spot of the match. Hook landed a head and arm suplex on Perry. Went for the cover, but no ref. So then while he's tending to the referee, behind, because the referee is down, Perry Jack wiped out Hook with the FTW title, crawled up on top, 1, 2, 3, and while the referee came to, and we have a new FTW champion. Obviously, Taz felt a bit dumbfounded after the match, didn't really say anything after until really the main event. So yeah, Jack Perry, the appearance is good for the heel SWAT. Obviously, the music needs a little getting used to or touch up or polishing, that's a word, for his heel persona. But I think in his first match as heel Jack Perry, I think he did a solid job. And Hook, his best match to date, obviously this one he needed. Um, yeah, we'll see. Um, but yeah, Hook, of course, still really young, has room to grow. Where does he go from here? Interesting, but yeah, we'll see. Alex Marvez, he got the scoop on a secret meeting between Don Callis and Chris Jericho as they were having lunch in this restaurant. And all of a sudden, Don Callis got wind of the camera and ordered the security guard and everybody to stop. So, pretty much that. A bit later in the show, they were shown arriving in a limo together. And again, Marvez asked about him, and bit hilarious. So, yeah. MJF and Adam Cole had another silly segment of them bonding. So, Adam Cole said they were apparently out in front of this Chinese restaurant in Boston called Kowloon. And Cole was like, well, you need to get over your fears of spicy food. I'm here for it. And then MJF was like, well, it's also poor people. So, finally they go in, they're layered with these plates of spicy chicken, Chinese chicken with some white rice, and then and just was like, it's not too spicy, right? And yeah, it's not. It's okay. So as soon as they had it, their faces were going red. They were. It was hilarious, funny. So then this schmuck waiter, he comes by with drinks, which you can already tell wasn't water. I mean, finally they start chucking this stuff down like it is water. And then the waiter's like, and then MJF, he's like, waiter, this water tastes funny. He's like, sir, this is 100% alcohol. So, finally, after a bit, they started filling it. They're a bit tipsy, and then they see the waiter, and they're like, so Adam Cole's like, you know who this guy reminds me of? Sammy Guevara. And then MJF's like, no, Sammy Garcia. So finally they shout in unison, we have one thing left to do. And they shout, double clothesline. Double clothesline. So then the little segment video ends when they double clothesline this poor referee, and there was that. So hilarious. Certainly hilarious. So then we pivot from Adam Cole to Adam Cole's boo, Britt Baker. First kill, Sparks, short match here in Boston. Uh, got the lockjaw on Sparks, short match. There you go. Now, I'm glad to see Britt. Um, well, obviously in a big market, they had to get their number one um, female on the show. But at the same time, I would rather had Statlander on the show. Um, yeah, she's gonna be in Rampage, but Rampage, let's face it, their rings are in the toilet pretty much, and no one's. I cannot get invested in Rampage really, so that's what sucks. So then we go to MJF and Sammy Guevara, or MJF and Adam Cole right before the match. Talked about them trusting each other. Plan A is going according to plan. And what a dig at Sammy Guevara and his wife, Tay Mello. They said, unlike Sammy Guevara's wife, they're not going to need plan B. MJF. What can you say? He's a prick. He's hilarious. Even though he's in basically a going face with his tag team. So it can be a prick. So hilarious. But the match here. So the match was good. The thing that ticked and triggered a lot of people online was obviously it also took me by surprise. So now also by the way, so MJF got themselves matching trunks. Adam Cole got themselves matching jackets. So they're playing up this, bonding tandem. But what triggered people, pretty much, the one thing I saw after this event was that the dance contest, which bursted out before the match of MJF and Adam Cole for Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. So basically MJF and Daniel Garcia, because Daniel Garcia's gimmick seemingly is he's like a goofy but sly dickish like dancer. Kind of seems. Certainly, aside from being a great technical pro wrestler. So anyway, MJF and Dan Garcia, they were in the ring. And then MJF got on the mic and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You guys like want to see a dance contest or something? So then MJF like kept butting at ringside. There was lights, there was music. Anyway, so Dan Garcia and Guevara start dancing, and then MJF does, and then Adam Cole, and then finally it stops. And then MJF's like, whoa, whoa. So, anyway, finally they get to the match. But that was the main thing that obviously triggered some. First off, yes, it's more sports entertainment than it is AEW. I'll agree on that. Another thing is, well, we've seen it time and time a lot. Certainly seen it a lot more on WWE. Certainly say that. Them being a lot more goofy and not taking less serious. The fact that this took me by surprise, you can definitely say. It shows you how well they do it and how much they are about the wrestling. So, I mean, I was okay with it because we don't see it as much as we do on WWE programming. Now, obviously, there's going to be idiots everywhere, whether it's on social media, YouTube, or whatever. They're going to this is going to be the lasting image and probably just hate all over him. And I mean, look, it was out of the blue. It was obviously comedy and cheesy, but again, you know, WWE or AEW doesn't do this often. So I mean, once I was okay. Now I will say that this on the same night as Blood and Guts was a bit odd, I will say, but nonetheless, it wasn't that harmful. So that's all I'll say on the matter. But the match here was good. I missed a bit of a portion of it, but when I came back, so Cole got a super kick on Garcia, then caught Guevara midair with a midair super kick, which definitely flattened Guevara. MJF tagged in with the legal man. Guevara hit a double Spanish fly on both for a near fall. So Garcia, he hit double chop blocks on both. Cole and MJF, he locked on the Dragon Slayer on Cole, but Cole got to ropes. So earlier in the match, they were MJF teased going for a dive on top or a suicida. But ultimately, he never actually does it. So then, finally, Adam Cole finally rounds him up enough that he actually does a suicida to the outside on both Garcia and Guevara. So, there you go. And crowd pop for that. And yes, we got it. We got it. Now, when I first was thinking about it, I was like, are they going to go for it? And then maybe MJF declines and turns on Cole? Well, that was not the case. As they went for the clothesline, they got it, and ultimately they won. And MJF and Adam Cole gonna face FTR for the stupid series. So MJF and Adam Cole win the Blind Unlimited tournament and will face FTR. We're in that great 2 out of 3 falls match. On Saturday's Collision, they will face off July 29th Collision, a week from Saturday. I mean, it's odd because look, now, first of all, I can see why, got FTR and facing MJF and Cole instead of another tag team. Because I can see that perhaps we're going to get another match between FTR and Bullet Club Gold. And maybe Bullet Club Gold takes the titles now all in. Maybe that's the goal for... That's why they went with MJF and Adam Cole. And perhaps the turn's going to happen there. So, maybe that. I mean, obviously, look, the tournament was entertaining. It was entertaining, obviously, the tag team division has tag teams. It's just they're not really building the division. And this, I mean, it was weird, but, you're built. The other thing is, Chris Jericho, he was in commentary. And he went on the stage as Guevara and Garcia were hang up, and he was trying to console him. And they just brushed Jericho off. And Jericho was confused and went after him. So clearly that's a feud brewing there. But yeah, certain things, building this MJF Adam Cole feud. Yes, it's a bit WWE-ish with the tournament, but it's different for MJF, I will say that. And Adam Cole, besides the feud with Jericho, really wasn't doing much since his return. And now, this seems like, because the match will take place on the 29th. So at the end of the month. So, the turn gap there, then we can build towards MJF and Adam Cole at All In, because, Adam Cole, he was looking at the AEW title, interestingly, before, or should say after the match, when he was going to give it to MJF, and MJF was like, whoa, what was that? They hugged, but MJF gave this weird look. So, we'll see. We'll see. So FTR came out, bit of a stare down, drawing a bit back and forth with the two teams, and gonna get this match a week from Saturday. So see how it goes. But I mean, they are entertained. That's just no debate on that. But definitely curious to see how they manifest it for the next move. Main events. Blood and Guts. AEW's War Games like match. This was almost 50 minutes. This was brutal. It was what do you expect? And Jon Moxley, you can say what you want that he bleeds too much. He was basically the MVP of this match. I mean, just the carnage and just what wrong. I mean, this was fun. This was epic as you expect. Probably the best of the 3 Blood and Guts matches to date. It was different, and I could have seen it going either way, but ultimately, the Golden Elite won with above all people, Jon Moxley surrendering. So, to save Willer Utah. So, they said that, now, obviously wish there was like a match or something to determine the man advantage, but they said that they didn't even show the coin toss, though, that the BCC won the coin toss. They won the man advantage. So, Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Comedy Club started against Kenny Omega, which right off the bat is a sight already, a match between those to start for the first 5 minutes. So, not much here. Omega did a big crossbody out the corner, but it was a stalemate pretty much for the first 5. Pac then was next for the BCC. He hit, obviously, now man advantage for them. Omega was hit with, set his sights on Pac, who was on the other side, and thought Claudio was down, but Claudio distracted him. Pac hit a missile dropkick. I do have to say, the commercial breaks, now I get it. A match this long on TV is obviously going to get some commercial breaks. So, I mean, it felt a bit, definitely took you out of the match a little bit. I mean, commercial breaks in general. Even if they're picture-in-picture, try to follow up. So, Hangman was next for the Elite, the Golden Elite. He did make his mission statement known. Yeah. Throw on Pac. Threw him out when the power bomb. He was on the top rope, fending to the crowd. Claudio went after him, but he caught a kick from Hangman, followed with a moonsault off the top, and the Elite are okay. And then the former tag team champions, Hangman and Kenny, they started incorporating their double team moves and getting on the same page. So finally, you had to think, okay, the big cage is going to be involved some way. So finally, started being thrown to the cage. They actually fired off kicks on both Claudio and Pac, sending them into the cage. I believe it was Kenny who tried grinding Claudio with his foot into the cage. So there you go for a bit. And then it obviously turned up a bunch of notches when we heard Jon Moxley's music play. And business picked up. He brung in a couple of forks, started picking at both Hangman. If you have a sensitive stomach or, just whatever, are you queasy? This match was not for the faint of heart. But Moxley, crazy. So he brought in a couple forks, gave one to Claudio. And so there was one side of the cage, the closest to the ring and the entrance, separating them. There's a little area. And apparently in the area separating the ring and the cage, there was a bucket that I'm guessing Moxley installed. And he put the bucket in one of the rings. And turned out in the remains of it was broken glass. So right off the bat, you knew this was going to get more epic than it could. So So it's dumped numerous guys, Kenny, Claudio, just Moxley. They all went into the broken glass. You could see it was just not well. Nick Jackson finally had to help even the odds, sort of. Came in with, Nick with his hot tag offense, the way he can just come in and do his flurries, certainly one of the best. So like I said, Claudio went to the glass, then finally Nick was sent to the glass as well. Willer Yuta came in and it sounded like a pin drop compared to the other reactions, I must say. Feel bad for Yuta, but that was kind of how it sounded. So then I kind of missed it, but then Matt Jackson came in the ring. Then finally it felt even. So then you knew Takeshita and Ibushi, final two, winning in this match. So the match, obviously, the Bucks did risky business on Mox. Takeshita came in, brought a folding chair. He had the Bucks collide heads. He landed a big lariat on Kenny. Moxley. This definitely had to get approved by management with the documents that were sent over last week. Reported. He brought out a bed of nails. A bed of nails brung up by Mox. Ay. As if this sick guy couldn't. So, Moxley tried to send Omega into the bed quickly, but no avail. He did temporarily stop it with his foot, Omega, but still, Nellis couldn't felt bad. So then, what dropkick by Moxley? Omega was sent to the bed of nails, and then it draped over his arms on his way down. Brutal. Then a power slam, sending Omega onto these nails again. So Kota Ibushi finally was last. Took a bit of a while, but so then Yuta was sent out. He found his way out of the cage. And he made his way to try to stop Ibushi on the stage. That was no avail. He was wiped out. And Matt Jackson, he went after him. So Ibushi went after everyone with his strikes. You can tell he was a bit rusty. And then you're thrust into this 10 steel cage match filled with weapons and crazy stuff. It's like, talk about your first match back. There was even a clip, which I'll talk about afterwards. So, Moxley and Ibushi were exchanging. Moxley then, go figure, sent back first onto his bed of nails, and then Ibushi hit a standing moonsault, which had to have sucked for him as well, on Moxley while he's on this bed of nails. So Nick was sent to the cage, or thrown into it by Claudio. Come to a commercial. Utah. So first they were fighting on their stage, and finally they found themselves fighting up on top of the structure, on the very top. And Nick Jackson and I'm guessing that was the one thing that couldn't have been cleared. Someone couldn't have been thrown off the top of the cage like last year. But Nick Jackson, he hit his signature Northern Light suplexes in a row onto Utah on the top of the cage. He wanted to throw him off, but Utah landed a DT on Matt, which saved him, and then went out, climbed off the top, went back in the ring, good for him. So, good spot. So, where is it? So, Claudio was sent into a trash can that was bridged in between the ropes. Moxley, a pile driver on Ibushi. Again, the match with all 10 competitors has officially started, so decision can take place with their submission or surrender. So, Pac and Claudio were already fuming after miscommunication. Nice spot here. So they were going for power bombs seen on to the members of the Elite. And then Matt Jackson, all of a sudden, we see on the top, has a bag of tacks. And he rains the tacks from this bag in the middle of the ring right before, or right in position in the second ring. And the two members of the Elite that were about to get powerbombed dumped Claudio and Pac into these tacks with back body drops. Good thinking of Matt Jackson. So that was certainly the spot there. So Pac was getting beaten down for a bit. This when the Elite kind of took advantage. There was like a sharpshooter crossface on Pac, but was broken up. So there was a pile driver dead-eye combo by Kenny and Hangman. Moxley a superplex. So this one got hilarious, a bit hilarious. So they chanted they want in Boston, we want tables. So Nick Jackson gets a table. And then the crowd chants, because they're crazy in Boston, I'm guessing, we want fire, we want fire. They want flaming tables in Boston. As if this is not enough. So, table setup, it was in between the wedge of the rings. So, Nick Jackson was set up on this table Pac, he hoisted himself, climbed himself to the top, the inner top of the cages, and then dove off with a diving stomp through Nick Jackson, through this table. Good looking spot there. Kind of reminded me of when Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton had that Hell in a Cell match, and Jeff tried to go for a dive off the inner top of the cell, threw Randy through the table, but missed and went headfirst on the table. Similar, but actually connecting. So, finally all met in the middle. It was a big hockey fight. This is when I thought the BCC were going to win. Everybody was basically wrapped up into a submission. Moxley had a triangle choke. Pac had the brutalizer on Omega, etc. Kind of a weird spot for Ibushi, and then Claudio had Matt Jackson a giant swing in the other ring. But thanks to Ibushi using his karate background, landing some strikes, he broke up all the submissions as Claudio had Matt a sharpshooter. Took him a few times so that all were broken up. Yeah, so there you go. So again, like I said, things were boiling over with the BCC. Pac and Claudio were getting into it. Started shoving. Pac was furious. He was avid. So Pac was basically done. So he flipped off Claudio and then went underneath the ring where the bucket was, grabbed some flyers and broke the chain that locked the door, and he left basically glancing on the stage. So yeah. And then, he left, and then Don Callis was on commentary. Noticed things were going well. Moxley got handcuffed to the ropes, and he was basically in the middle of that wedge in between the rings. Couldn't know where to go. And the Kesha was courted by Callis, basically told him to leave as it was not going and looking well for the Blackpool Comic Club. So basically, in a matter of a couple minutes, Blackpool Comic Club was down 5-3. And it did not look well. And pretty much all she wrote. So Claudio was being held down on one side of the ring. Moxley, he was handcuffed and didn't have anywhere to go. And he was bust open and he was being choked out by both Kenny and Hangman with chains, and it was over. We didn't know what happened, and then it was told that Moxley, of all people, surrendered to save Wheeler Yuta, because he was getting choked out, and Moxley couldn't do anything. He was handcuffed, and Claudio was on the other side of the ring. So the Golden Elite were victorious, and you just saw it many times. Moxley was just sitting there, ejected after all he did for this blood and guts match, only being left to surrender. Of all people in this match, you thought we were going to surrender. You didn't think Moxley was going to have to, but he did. But damn, was that a good match. Violence, brutal, whatever you want to say. Arguably the best of the three thus far. First one was good with a sour finish between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. Second one was very good. Better than the first. Between the Blackpool Comedy Club and the JS. This year with the Golden Elite, and it must feel refreshing because this was, the original Blood and Guts was supposed to be between the Elite and the Inner Circle. That obviously didn't happen, but alas, it was very fun. Very fun. And certainly a thrilling finish. So yeah. But nonetheless, that is a review for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fun. Dynamite was. Not sure how Collision can top that, but certainly I can try. But if you guys like this video, be sure to click that like. Helps out the video and all the other stick. But yeah, thank you guys. Subscribe as well. But I'll see you guys back on Sunday for your AEW Collision review. So keep that in mind. See you guys later. Peace.